Man, probably a fun fact on me is that I like to read. Like I like to read. That's a lost art nowadays. Oh, my great uncle is Jesse Owens. He won 4 gold medals in 1936.
I always want to leave people with this, man, to all the viewers and everybody out there, man. Make sure you guys finish your story. Make sure you guys finish your journey because somebody's going to need it.
Yeah. All you gotta do is push the back button. That's all you gotta do. Push the back signal.
Try not to think about the future too much, so you can maximize the now.
Who's your favorite rap artist?
Man, to be honest, it's crazy. Tupac always been my number one, right? Like he got me through so much stuff, but Lil Wayne has been in the modern day.
I said, what does it really take? What does it really take to be great, Drew? And he looked at me and he was like, you really want to know? And he was like, to be honest, everything you did to get here, you need to be consistent times 10.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Everybody out there doing it. It's your boy, Coach Lee. Appreciate y'all hanging back with us. We're back at it like we're mad at it. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Chop Up. You know how we like to do it. Topics can be anything and everything, not necessarily sport. You see how it does. But before we can get it started, got to bring the crew in. My brother, my fellow cowboy brother. He might be tired. He might be lit. You never know. What's up, too?
What up? What up? What up? It's Taco Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
I said last time, man, I wanted tacos and nobody bought me in. But it's okay, because we're going to chop it up tonight. You might see me eat a taco or two during the show. Maybe. Might give you the privilege. I hope everybody's doing well today. Hope everybody woke up positive, in your night positive. Tune in. Let's ride.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We see Marie Cruz. Appreciate you.
What's going on, Marie?
Man, I think we got another one we got hanging out here, don't we?
Got another one too. Yes, man. Up from the Northeast. You know, hopefully you don't get a Northeastern, man. This year, my guy Will in the building. He ain't gonna spread it though. All sun with him, man. What's going on? Yeah, how the mall go to bang, bang, bang.
No Easter. I'm my own storm. I bring that storm everywhere I go. Let's go.
I'm saying.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's up, Chef Homeboy D? You know we chopping it up and in the back already. We'll tell you got there, whipping it.
Made a batch of cookies, man. Made some cookies, man, for the holidays.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Y'all don't realize, man, us big brothers, we here for a reason. We invest in our craft.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. It is not an accident.
I love cookies. Love chocolate chip cookies. Love cookies.
How could you not, man?
That's my kryptonite.
Unless you got a thing against sugar, enjoy.
Enjoy. They do go hand in hand, man.
Yes, they do.
We're gonna rate together.
So, man, chop up. You know what I'm saying? It can be any topic. You know, I know we specialize in sports, but kind of our night to just chill back, interact, show a little bit, a different side to our personalities.
Absolutely.
Sounds about right.
Glad to add this to things that we do well.
Yes, sir.
We are students always do well. Yeah.
So
What's going on, man?
let's get it started, man.
Nasty
Let's go.
Nate, Nasty
Let's
Nate
go.
dog in the building.
Let's
Late
go.
dog.
My God, that's what's up.
Late low.
Straight hooks, straight hooks.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's get it started, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Bunch of things going on in the world. You know, we can bring anything to the table. I'm gonna start this chop up tonight with something that's kind of hot in the airwaves. You know, we may be hearing it, maybe hearing it from other people, but everybody at some point is hearing this story. Tory Lanez, Megan Thee Stallion situation, indeed, occurred in July 2020.
The gift that keeps on giving.
Yes, absolutely. Megan's real name is Megan Pete. Testified in court that Lane shot her after an argument the pair had that July night, and how the experience has drained her both physically and mentally. In quote, Megan Thee Stallion said, "The situation has only been worse for me, and it has only made him more famous. I wish he would have just shot and killed me if I knew I would go through this torture." So anybody that doesn't know what occurred that night, we're gonna just go through it briefly. Prosecutors say that early morning of July 12, 2020, Megan and Lanez were leaving a party at Kylie Jenner's house in Hollywood Hills with Harrison Edison when the altercation began. Megan asked to be let out the car that the group was leaving the party in on a residential street and began walking away with Lanez, allegedly leaning out of the car, yelled, "Dance, biatch," before I repeat 5 times. According to testimony from the Los Angeles detective who interviewed Megan, "I felt shocked. I felt hurt. I wasn't sure if this was really happening," Megan said during her testimony. "I looked at my feet. I saw the blood and I fell to the ground." Megan's feet currently had bullet fragments logged in. That required surgery. So what? And it was at one point she didn't tell the cops that this situation occurred.
My first take on this is, in case no one had noticed the obvious, of course it was leaving the Kardashian house. Like, it doesn't come out of that house that's not poisonous, man. It's crazy.
Circus.
Look, there's a whole lot that goes on with this. For the whole beginning of it, I remember when it happened, it split the black community, and it split men and women a lot in the black community because people took sides, rightfully so. And it wasn't like all women on her side and all men on his side. It was split down the middle. Like, some people believed it, some people didn't. We still don't know what fully happened. I mean, I guess we do. But another note in that thing, I don't know if you were going to bring this up, but another note was during this whole situation, there was a stay away order. There was a restraining order on him. And then we found out, I'm pretty sure her lawyer admitted that she admitted to him that they have had sexual intercourse during this whole trial, during this whole thing.
Wait a minute. I didn't know that. So
they've
still been hooking up since all this has been waiting to happen?
At least once is what I've heard. Now, that I don't know if that's rumor because there's so much that goes on with the situation that a lot of he say, she said. But I think that one's on record as true. So not even just a rumor, which means, yeah, he broke the stay away, but she broke it too. So it just brings the question, what is going on?
What is going on? Because, like I said, I ain't hear that, but I mean, if this is what's going on right now, I would believe that if it did happen. Now, Megs was already lying to the court, saying that she didn't have a relationship with Tory, and then admitted that she did and gave the reasons why she didn't admit to having a relationship with him. But like you said, when this came up, the community was split, rather it was jokes or real spit, real talk. You know what I'm saying? It definitely did divide. You got the females on the side, man. A male should never shoot a female. It should never happen. Nobody should shoot anybody.
Yeah, we should just refrain from shooting people in general.
No, in general. But I'm talking about in terms of the split side,
Absolutely.
If it was a guy shooting a guy, a lady shooting a lady, would it get this much? I mean, superstars, you get freaked, but this is a regular stand base, no. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But in all, then you have the guys back in Tory, you know what I'm saying? Saying, where's the bullet at? You know what I'm saying? What's the bullet at in the foot and things of that nature? So it's a very difficult situation. Now in there is a friend of both parties. One who Tory Lanez was, I believe, bunning out. That may have played part of this as well. Now she's in court as well, testifying and siding with Meg that, you know, Tory did indeed shoot. But there's a lot of missing holes in this situation, you know what I'm saying? Because one thing I did hear too is when he got locked up, they didn't straight take his passport and do anything like that. They kept him as, you know what I'm saying, as a citizen, basically, like, you know what I'm saying? He still has rights, you know what I'm saying? I mean, though he did this, you know, house arrest, whatever the case is, you know what I'm saying? He didn't get deported or anything else. That was something shocking to me too, you know what I'm saying? They didn't take his passport. You know what I'm saying? It didn't stop anything that he may have, you know, been trying to do in the case, you know, the situation worsened himself. So that was kind of one end for me personally.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, as far as your question, Marie, that's what I heard. Like I said, if anybody wants to fact check that, we could do that soon or maybe between the next segment or whatever, but you can look that up. Yeah, from what I heard, the only reason why I would have mentioned it is because from what I heard, it was on record. that wasn't just like a he say, she say, like it said that she admitted that and that was on record. So that's if that's the case, it's wild. The whole thing is just crazy. Like, especially if they were seeing each other during this, it's like y'all obviously got something for each other, something going on. Just what are we doing? Like, what happened? Why is this how our culture reacts every time there's a problem like this? I just don't understand. But that's yeah.
That's a whole other topic.
That's a whole different
individuals, you know what I'm saying, before the incident, you know, they're in their peaks, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to hit the prime status. Both artists are really hot in their departments, you know what I'm saying? They're hooking up. We've seen this with the likes of Rihanna, Chris Brown, you know, just for instance. We've seen this with lots of, you know, celebrities, you know what I'm saying?
Love is crazy, man. Love make you do crazy things.
Yes,
love is crazy. Love you make do crazy things, and you know, crazy things thereafter. You know, it's definitely interesting to see how this trial goes, because there's some people that, you know, are still divided, still think that Tory could possibly beat the case. People like, you know, get his name is jail time. You know what I'm saying? There's too many loopholes in the story. You know, the residue situation too, you know, something where
I didn't get that part. Did they do a residue test on them after the situation?
I think so. It was saying something basically like it's not on him, but because the gun had something, it trickulates to him. Something that revelated basically like is his gun, obviously.
From what I've heard from cops, usually whenever a gun is fired, something is going to be on you.
Yes. And they're saying that the friend may have shot fired.
So the friend might have did it. Yeah, it's a whole bunch of crazy, man. It's a whole bag of crazy.
Hey, it could be a threesome when bad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You never know.
A lot of people's story. Ben Simmons ended up in this story. Ben
Simmons
told that rumor that Ben Simmons and Meg had something going on.
Ben Simmons doing everything but playing basketball.
Yes.
Told that Tory Lanez might have been trying to fiddle with Kylie Jenner that night. You know, it's a lot of things that happened that night. Everybody's extremely drunk. They on their wave. They both high-end celebrities. You know, it terribly went wrong. Then there's a text message, I guess, that Meg's spitting out from Tory. Basically, Tory apologizing and things like that. But I guess Tory said he wasn't apologizing for shooting her. He was apologizing for the wrong things that he did to her during the course of their little relationships. So
you know how apologies go in court cases. It's almost an admission of guilt. So
exactly.
Yep.
That's a bad look too.
Bad look.
Yeah, man. I mean, this is one of those cases where I just can't wait till there's a verdict so we can read all the affidavits and read everything that happens and find out. I wonder if we'll ever know the truth though, what happened that night. You know, like we may never know.
We would never probably know the truth indeed. Marie,
that's how a lot of situations go. You never find out.
then some of it was self-inflicted. Damn.
Yeah, if she was sticking around, if she was with him like during this whole thing, and like, what do you?
I
That's
thought I
crazy.
had read somewhere where the driver of the vehicle that they were in, they disappeared as well, from a testimony standpoint.
Yes,
Oh,
testimony standpoint. Well, there was one thing going around that one of Meg's homies was missing. You know what I'm saying? But I heard that was a false rumor.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it is kind of this type of stuff that could possibly happen. You know what I'm saying? It's a very, high case to this degree, and it's still going on, and one way or the other, somebody's going to have to eat this, and somebody's going to be able to stay out and tell their story. I mean,
we'll see what happens.
One of the recipients. Tori's in the win-lose situation, where Meg is in the win-win situation, because regardless of what happens, nothing's gonna happen to her. Now she could talk about the torture that's been on her career, but she's still able to go ahead.
Nothing might happen to her unless she lied under oath about something.
Right, exactly. But she's feeling like as if this whole thing's just taking a whole bundle on her and all that. You gotta remember too, Meg put herself in this spotlight. Remember, she was signed to 1501, which is Carl Crawford's record label. She did wanted, success. She did with Rock Nation. She wanted to get out her contract. Literally took Carl Crawford to court to get out her contract. And there was things that was said in the media in regards to her before she blew up. And everybody took her side because she was the artist, coming up. We don't hear Carl Crawford rapping or nothing. We know he has the company, but at the same time, Carl Crawford, Megan Thee Stallion. I mean, we sports guys, so we gonna go Carl, but we probably won't. It's just more of the story. But
hey, as a Boston kid, I ain't got nothing for Carl Crawford, man. He came here, got paid, bummed it, and then left.
on that record company.
Well, yeah, interesting situation.
So, man, that's how we start around over here on these things, man. Chopping up.
Got to mix it up.
Chopping up court cases. And before the show's over, guys, I got one more thing before the show's over, and it might be interesting as well before we get off, man. Probably have some laughing giggles, but a little bit of seriousness. But we'll save that for the end.
Okay. Nice little tease. Make you stay around.
Definitely.
Well, I guess we're going to take our first break for tonight. We'll be back by 15-20. Hold on to your butts. Be right back.
What's up, guys? It's Mike Larimore here. Just wanted to give a quick shout out to STWF Media for all of the love and the positivity they've been sending my way recently. We partnered up, you know what I'm saying? I just like the energy the guys bring over there. So any sports talk, you want to talk football, you want to talk baseball, they might even talk bowling if you're interested. Boxing, whatever your thing is, man. Go check them out. There's a lot of great coverage over there. Again, it's nothing but positive energy from these guys. Go check them out. Peace.
And we back.
Back at the back at it like we're mad at. No, we do it, man.
Chop, chop, chop.
Segment number 2.
So, number 2, I got 2 little topics. I guess I chose 2 because I couldn't choose one, which is that's the whole. That's the whole. If you got 2 quarterbacks, you don't got one, right? But yeah, the first one. The reason I did that because I don't always like I don't like having a downer all the time. I like lighting it back up. So the first one's kind of a downer. I just like to get people's response to. I don't know if y'all remember. But I think it was 2016, former USC star and then Jets player Joe McKnight was murdered seemingly in cold blood during what seemed like a road rage incident. He was unarmed. They were arguing in the street. The other man pulled out a gun, shot him, and then stood over his body and, from all accounts, executed him. One more to the head. So there was some disturbing video out there of him on the scene. I don't know if there was video of the actual shooting. If there is, I'm pretty sure they removed that off the internet by now. But the video of you could actually go to our room, the chat room, and see the video of the response where he's still there. Tough story, man. He was a young kid, a lot of talent. It didn't translate to the NFL, but he was playing in Canada too, I believe. And a lot of people loved him from what I remember and what I recall. He got sentenced. This case finally wrapped up. He got sentenced. They gave him manslaughter.
What?
He got 10 years. 10 years for what seemed like damn near an execution. Cold-blooded murder, man. I guess there was conflicting witnesses, which it is crazy that in this society we still rely on eyewitnesses, because it has been proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that eyewitness is one of the least reliable sources for any situation. Man, we knew this as a kid if you really paid attention. Remember that game Popcorn?
Yep.
Where it would start. There's different names for it, but they called it popcorn in my day, where the teacher or somebody would start a comment at the beginning of the class, and then that person would, and it's funny you call it rumor because this is exactly how rumors start. You guys had a better name for it, honestly. And then you would tell the next person next to you, you whispered in their ear, everybody whispered to the next person until they get to the end and see what the comment was, and it's never, ever what it started off as. Ever. Right. Ever. Now, in that situation, it's because people talk a little different. You hear something different, and then maybe it rattles around and you say it different. But that it applies to the same thing with witnesses. Eyewitnesses, you almost never recall things accurately, especially adrenaline's high. And when your adrenaline goes up, cognitive thinking goes down. You get into fight or flight. Like eyewitness records are just not good, and yet we rely on them so often in cases in America. That being said, I guess there was conflicting stories, and the best they could do with this verdict was to hang a manslaughter on. I don't know how you hang a man. Like, look, if you just shoot a person, even in general, you shoot a person. I know that the rule is if you shoot them below the waist and they die, that's usually how a manslaughter happens, because I guess the case is they've deemed if you shoot below the waist, you're not aiming to kill.
No vital organs.
Yeah, you're aiming to maim. But of course, you still have main arteries in your legs. You could die, get shot anywhere, really. But so I guess that's how they deemed it in the court systems. But the fact that he then stood over him and put one in his head, I don't understand how he gets off on a manslaughter charge. I do not understand that. I wish we knew better, and I just wanted to see what you guys felt about that whole situation.
Yeah, it was a road rage incident from what I read. Talking back and forth to each other. McKnight gets out the car. It was told the guy who's been locked up for this, Ronald Gasser, kind of triggered the story saying that McKnight tried to go into his car. I mean, we don't really know the story, but I could probably see McKnight going to the car. I don't know what happens after that, but usually in that situation, it never ends good.
Right.
Especially when you got to get out the car, and they're in traffic already, and this situation happens. Now, the afterthought of it, him going on top of him and basically just saying, I'm into you, it's terrible. That's terrible. Now, the verdict charged manslaughter. Like, what? What? Like,
I don't understand.
Eyewitness can't tell you the story of this. You know the exact way this guy got killed. Okay, an argument, whatever the case is, shoot him, cool, all right. But then he ends the man's life. Now I'm hearing as well that the sentence may be down a little bit due to some good time and some other extra stuff.
Because he sat, right. When you sit, sometimes they run it concurrent and they give you sat time.
Back around. So, I mean, this situation, all these situations in the jury system, never goes one person's way, goes somebody's way. And then people that pass away, they don't even have a thought to feel about the situation. They're gone. It's like it's terrible on all counts. Go back and forth with you guys all day, but that's a senseless act. It's a senseless act to be given in court manslaughter.
Now, I don't want to talk out of both sides of my mouth. I did just say that eyewitnesses are pretty unreliable. What I will say is that the only way I can see him getting manslaughter is if he says he felt threatened.
Yeah, that's
and then fired. But here's my thing. If more than one person, if multiple people believe that he stood over him and then took another shot, we're past self-defense at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So, but again, that relies on eyewitnesses. So if he's saying that's not how it happened, then I can understand how he got there. I think you still got to realize that he took a man's life. An unarmed man. I think that's a key. It's important too. He took an unarmed man's life. And I don't know how far self-defense should carry in that situation. I don't think it should carry the manslaughter. Maybe not murder like in the first degree or second degree. I don't know. Maybe the lesser of the two, but murder for sure. I feel like should have been the verdict.
Hold on. In New Orleans, guns legal down there?
I don't know if the gun was legal. That's another key to the thing.
Right.
Guns are legal everywhere. It's all about whether you have a license to carry.
License, all that, license carry and things of that nature. And, you can put little things in there, but it just all in general, like, the laws now are in the South in general. That's why I asked the question.
Yeah, for sure.
Man.
But yeah, I mean, what you got? You got anything for us, Coach?
Man, that's a very unfortunate incident. I'm sure I still can't get over the whole manslaughter charges. You know, I'm curious to, as the makeup of the jury, not saying it's anything racially divided, but we're gonna talk about Louisiana.
I believe it was two black men though.
And I saw as far as the man, it was, I think, and if that is the case, the manslaughter charge was voted on a 10-2 charge.
10-2 charge. 10-2 charge. White black situation. Man, listen, road rage incident, man, they tell you, man, those road incidents, man, just drive and go, man. Lucky not to get in a crash or do anything, man. In this situation, it's terrible. Shout out to Nate, man, on the comment and bring it up.
Yeah, I'm biased, but we have tight gun control laws down here in Australia, and we have way, way less shootings down there. Yeah, understood. So,
Merry Christmas, Chris. Hope you're feeling well.
Absolutely.
Real. Blessings to you, Chris.
So, take care.
Chris who?
Chris Vick.
The Bengal man.
Chris Vick, yeah, Bengal man. Yeah. So,
bring his win.
I'll end it with this. I'll say that we all weighed in. I think we're all pretty clear. It's a tragedy. We lost somebody that we didn't need to lose. Another young black man who was successful in doing his thing in life. We don't need that. I think I'll end it with let's call this for sure. At the very least, a cautionary tale. We need to think twice before we do things. You never know what's going on, what someone else is going through in that day. Even if you're mad, I'm pretty sure no matter what happened on that road, I'm pretty sure Joe is not worth it to him, not worth his life. I'm pretty sure he'd rather had not got out that car and just took the L or whatever it may be for the day and went home and hugged his wife and kids if he has them or any family member. I'm pretty sure he'd rather be here now than having this be the case. So cautionary tale, people, it's not worth it. Road rage is a crazy thing. It's something that's very common, and especially up here in the Northeast where nobody can drive.
Yep, I've seen it, man.
Yeah, I've seen crazy stuff. Yeah,
I see it on a daily basis. Like it's wild.
Well played. that was the pickup we needed. I appreciate that.
Damn.
That wasn't the only murder. Mac Jones is still laid out on a chalk outline on the field somewhere because of Chandler Jones.
The Cowboys secondary,
the whole Matt Ryan, the whole coach team, it was a crazy week.
The Rams,
for my second story, we're gonna go on the light side, the better side of the human culture and just the human disposition. Also, we're gonna do something that we don't usually do. I'm gonna bring it to the hockey world. I think Chris Vick might have liked. He might be a hockey guy. He might have enjoyed this if he bailed
Chris
out.
Vick, hockey man. You might see Sean popping in.
Yeah.
Sean
I believe it was last night. One of the rising stars and recent champion, Cale Makar of the Colorado Avalanche. He did something that is astonishing in today's day in sports. He was handling the puck, wrapping around the goal, and had a defender right on him, and the defender leaned on him a little bit. Stick was a little high, and he tripped and fell. And Mikhail got taken out. Mikhail immediately gets up and waves off the ref, waves off the penalty. Said, "Nah, it wasn't a trip. I just fell," which is interesting for a couple of reasons. One, they're one of the best power play teams in the league. The score was 0-0. From a teammate standpoint, you're like, come on, guy. Like, that could be a goal for us. I mean, you're taking away power play from us. But from a guy from all of us who just got finished watching the FIFA World Cup and watching them boys flop nonstop. And also watching a lot of, I'm not going to just say about soccer because it's not just them, watching NBA nightly guys flopping, begging for calls, crying about calls. I just thought it was real refreshing to see a guy go, you know what? Nah, we good here. Just play on. I thought that was a very stand-up thing to do. And
you don't see that too often.
Yeah, literally the only people who can be mad at him are on his team, and everyone else need to be happy that this type of thing happened.
It is. You're right. It does, because hockey, from all the sports we watch, it's probably the lowest of the lows and the dump of the dump. So it is good.
Hot take.
No, it is good.
They're gonna come for you.
Ratings wise. Yeah,
for the police, the referees, what I'm saying, to go with the man, on the call when they clearly could have called it, is outstanding. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if hockey beats rates and gets better ratings tonight, but that's the type of thing that could boast of something, you know what I'm saying? In a real positive way, like you said.
Ethics.
May not be happy with it. But at the end of the day, he's a good teammate, he's an upcoming star in the league. And, hey, wave it off, man. Sometimes, even in the pickup game, like you mentioned earlier, you may say, hey, man, that's not a foul. All good.
Yeah.
Dog. Hey, man, I try playing, something. You know what I'm saying? Good gesture. You don't got to do it all the time.
Right.
But, it goes a long way. You know what I'm saying?
Good gracious. That's
great comparison.
Yeah,
pick up basketball game.
Pickup, pickup. That's a great spot to bring it up, because like that's where you call your own calls out there. And if you're the type of guy who goes, nah, that's not a foul, that's stand up. Because on the flip side, I know plenty of times I hack a guy, be like, I hacked him up, man. Give him the ball, man. Like, you know what I mean? So I remember if you would stand up like that, then when you do make a call that people don't like, people tend to believe you then. And they go, all right, well, he's usually straightforward with this type of stuff. But I just thought it was interesting, man. It's a beautiful moment in sports.
He waved it off, and the referees went over and said, we're going to wave it off. That's the interesting thing.
Yeah, ref just let it go and was just like, all right, well.
Yeah, but,
I also wonder how much of that is a little bit of maybe some Kobe head games where, like, now the next time if he doesn't wave something off, they're gonna be like, well, it definitely happened because we know he's a stand-up guy, and that might help them. That might help them later on down the line.
He invested in a future call.
It was an investment. It might have been an investment, is all I'm saying.
Or the referees pull what the ref pulled the other night with Terry McLaurin and say, you're good, bro. And
right.
A lot of things can happen out of this, you know what I'm saying? Some people that's gonna be disappointed, like you said. You know what I'm saying? You got the people betting at home. Got the people that are fans of the game at home, watching popcorn, fans and all that. But at the end of the day, it's making airwaves, and it seems like there's a lot of positive coming out of it.
Because I'm guessing there's definitely some people, thousands even, who bet a goal in that first period, and they could have had a chance at one, and nope. I also wonder, too, if, humans are humans, right? When we just talked about the whole popcorn game and everything like that, not everybody, just because they're refs, not everybody going to read that the same way. There's got to be one ref who goes, I'll do my job, thank you very much.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. A lot of them.
Like, might not like that. I might not like that. Yeah. Power tripping. So
like it getting shown up.
It's the holidays. It's the holidays. Have some cheer, man.
Exactly. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. I thought it was a light story to pick up after the Saturday.
Very much so. Very, very much so. All right. That's a good segment too, gentlemen.
Going to a commercial break again.
Commercial break. Now we like to do it.
Folks, like, subscribe, share. All the above.
You know what I'm saying? Be like Josh from State Farm, man. Like, comment, subscribe.
There you go.
Share. We're all streaming platforms, baby. Come through Sports Talk with Friends. STWF Media on YouTube.
You heard?
STWF Sports Talk with Friends group on Facebook. You know, right our Instagram wave, you know, STWF_media.
Join the family.
TikTok, same name. You know,
join the family. Join the family. That's what we say.
Man. You know, get a drink, come back in 15, 20, and find out what else we got chopping up in the lab.
Oh, I love our last segment. I pushed it for a reason.
We're right back, folks.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Gritty checking in. This Friday I'm live with STWF Media, man. Little interview coming soon. Everybody, y'all tune in, man. We got some big coming. Let's get it.
Gritty's our homie too. You know what I'm saying? Your young kids love Gritty. The old men kind of like Gritty. Middle class, they can relate with him. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, may hit Gritty up and, you know, he might come in the studio again, man, you know, as the new year pops off, man. So that's why I said you got to ride with us, man. You got to ride the wave.
No doubts. So, last segment. The fellas asked me to push this into the last part of the segment, so we're going to do that. We'll have some fun with it. Your boy was off today, so, you know, ran a couple of errands, hit the grocery store, then went and faded me Jersey Mike's giant California club.
Ooh.
So,
Jersey Mike's,
not
man.
the same time. Different sections.
Right about now.
Jersey Mike. They got one on Lynn?
Yeah, we got one in Swampscott, which is a couple minutes out.
Close enough. Yep.
Yeah, close enough. Definitely.
Can't go wrong with a Jersey Mike's, man.
No, you can't.
So sat down after get done chilling. What your boy do? Start watching movies. Went in, hopped on the HBO app. Hadn't been on there in a while. Boom! Oh, what do I behold on here? It's Black Adam on there.
Yes, it is.
I almost paid to watch it about 3 weeks ago. Hey.
You'd have been upset.
I'd have been hotter than fish grease, man. So get sit down and watch it. I have to say, man, I was pleasantly surprised. It was better than I thought it was going to be because I know it didn't really do as expected at the box office. But I didn't know much about Black Adam, and I'm like, oh, he got a Shazam? I see the tie-in here. And then, you know, the whole thing at the end with the cameo appearance, I'm like, I see where this is going. So, with that being said, you know, I got to go and tap into my inner nerd. Mm-hmm. I'm sticking to the movie aspect of it. I want to get into comic books. I know that's a whole nother subject, topic, show even. But just looking at the movie franchises, Marvel versus DC.
Oh, you handicapped the whole debate. That's it. It's easy now. You done made it easy.
Perspective on this, dude. Share my brother.
You done made it easy now. If we have to discredit all the other stuff, if it's just the cinematic, the universe,
right?
It's not close, man. Marvel nailed this down. Now, don't get me wrong. They nailed it down when they started, man. If you want to say that, like, the phase 4 that we've been in, if you're really into it, phase 4 been a little weak. There've been some duds mostly, and only a couple good ones. But
the movie day. So
but Marvel hands down, man. Like they had a plan. They casted well. They had continuity with it. They kept everybody involved. And they paid everybody until, like, they printed money, like, basically, because these movies did so well. They had a story interwoven with TV shows early on, but yeah, like Marvel hands down in terms of the movies, man. It's not even close. DC can't get out of their own way. They shooting themselves in their own foot. They try to bob in every chance they get, man. They don't know what to do. Now, recently we had some new events happen in the news with them that they got Sean. Is it Sean Gunn or is that his brother? James Gunn. Yeah, they got James Gunn gonna take over now. So now they got their Dave Filoni now.
Okay.
So they got their guy or their Favreau. Like, they got their guy now. They got the guy, and here's the thing: we've heard this 3 other times that they had their guy. So I'm a little, I don't know. We'll see, but I'm skeptical. But I do trust James Gunn for the most part. With that though came the announcement that Henry Cavill's out.
Yes,
that's Superman. He's done.
Surprisingly.
Another crazy thing that I heard today, actually, just today, I'm pretty sure they already have a Wonder Woman 3 shot and done, ready to like edit and press. They're shelving that.
That's probably gonna be what, phase 6, I'm assuming?
No, I'm talking about DC. Wonder Woman, they got they got Wonder Woman, they're shelving that. They're canning everything. The only thing they're gonna have to run the Flash movie because they put so much into it and it's already basically done. But they got an animal as a lead character over there. That dude's out of his mind. So that's not gonna go well. But yes, they're canning everything. They're starting fresh. Hopefully with that, they can try to capitalize on the fact that this phase 4 has been a struggle for Marvel, but they got a lot of catching up to do because Marvel's way ahead.
Definitely. Marvel's definitely way ahead, man. Looking the airways every time is a Marvel flick out.
Right.
Out. And, I heard Coach mention, Black Adam really didn't hit in the sense that in the movie theaters, you know what I'm saying? But this is why you have the fan base and the fandom for it. You know what I'm saying? Because people going to tune in that are diehards, and those diehards are real diehards. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people that, love it. And it makes people that don't necessarily love it intrigued to go see movies, man. Like, from the comic book base back in the day, I was more of that person, kind of shading away.
It becomes cultural, yeah.
It comes a culture. You know what I'm saying? It comes cultural. Superheroes were culture growing up. Like, that was one of the stages of culture, like waking up every Saturday with your cereal after a week of school, watching all types of shows. Like, that's what it was. Like, the X-Men was my joint, man. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Going on. Like,
so to me and you, our generation, we had the cartoons and we had a few early movies. Honestly, if you want to like really tail it to the beginning, it started with Blade, but a lot of people didn't know about Blade as a comic. Like, we were kids, we didn't really know what happened.
Blade,
right.
Exactly.
We knew Blade as the movie.
Right,
but,
right.
And then we go to Spider-Man. But I don't think people understand. Like, one of the podcasts I listen to is Fat Man Beyond with Kevin Smith, who's our resident big nerd all around.
Champion there, man.
Yeah, big time. And him and Mark Bernardin do a great podcast together. They tell the story that it paints the picture better. They grew up reading these comics even more than maybe we did. Like from early on, they were into these comics. And for your generation, Coach, y'all wish for the day where you could see these people, these characters on the big screen.
We're going bonkers with this live action.
Right. It's crazy because now that we finally get to see them all. And that's part of why DC is failing too, because they keep just, instead of having a whole big universe and continuity, they just keep pressing some of the same main characters. Like, I get it. If you're going to do a DC world, you're going to need Batman. You're going to need Superman. You're going to need Wonder Woman. You're going to need Flash. Those are the ones you're going to need. You're going to need those characters. But when that's all, like, how many Batman movies we got? How many Superman movies we got? We've had 3 different Supermen, or 4 or 5 different Supermen. We've had like 4 Batman. Like, you're doing the same movies and you're not giving us variety, and you're just redoing the same stories and not always doing them well. That's why you're behind right now. Like, you're losing the game because you're not doing it right. Like, Marvel told an entire story. Like, they built up and led into the whole Thanos thing. We knew who Thanos was from the movies almost a full 10, like I think almost a full 10 years before we saw him full out in a movie, like really doing his thing. Yeah, like they set it up. They know what they're doing. They get, like I said, they're getting a little stale with this phase 4, but I think part of that is the regime change in terms of the actors. They got to change over and do some new things with some of the people. DC is Cowboys equivalent to me. The industry and show you some good things that suck you in and inevitably disappoint. I can't lie, man. I can't lie. That's the second Cowboy shot of the day, and he is going for it today. My man Nate.
Man. Won't you show us where the Cowboys touch there, man? My man. My man. And ain't them Cowboys, boy. So I got a question for you. So I'm looking at some of the, I guess it's going to be maybe phase 4 for DC.
Marvel.
No, for DC.
Oh, they
looking at their phase 4. Yeah.
Well, they already phase 4. They out of phase now. They rebooting.
So because I'm looking at this, and some of this stuff they have, some of it's still in development or whatnot.
Okay.
As far as the coming soon, you got Shazam: The Fury of the Gods, which I'm intrigued by that. I like the first 2 Shazam.
I like what they're doing with Shazam. Here's one of them. Let me just speak for a second. Here's one of the issues that Black Adam had. Now, Black Adam, this has been a pet project. This isn't just something that DC as a whole wanted to do so bad. This has been
like 18 years in the making, right?
This is The Rock. The Rock has been dying to play this character specifically. He said he wanted this character. He's been offered other roles. No. He wanted to do this. But then he finally does it. And if you watch the movie, tonally, from like a tone perspective, he's supposed to be the #1 villain for Shazam. Tonally, they came in so dark. They tried to add a little comedy when they could, but they came in so dark, and a resurrected slave who's like evil and trying to be good now, I guess, by the end of the movie.
Yeah, even though
he was still dark at the end of the movie, like no spoilers, but if you see the last clip, the extra clip, he brought it to somebody, I mean, that he shouldn't have been bringing it to. Like, he brought it to him like, what's up? Even though he's supposed to be being a good dude. So
he's still about that smoke.
Right. Now that doesn't really line up with the tone of the Shazam movie. So they're never going to end up crossing over. He expected to have 4 or 5 movies out of Black Adam. He might not get a second one.
Yeah. And it's 2 totally different tones. Even from the actual like the lighting portion of it, it's 2 totally different movies.
Just way different. Just the way the story's told, all of it. Like, one of them is a movie that you could bring the whole family to. I mean, you could bring the whole family to both, but the other one is just like, yo, this guy's dark. I'm gonna have some explaining to do to the kids after this.
Like, why he do that? Why did he do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Then we also got The Flash.
Yeah. So The Flash, I think it's still gonna go. But
it's slated for July of 2023.
Here's the problem. It's a one-off now, because unless they're gonna find a convoluted way to replace the main actor, they cannot work with him anymore. He made himself untouchable. Ezra Miller, for lack of a better term, has been a monster in society for the last 2 years. Like, he has a grooming case out there where he's grooming young girls. He has, or young girls and boys, I don't know, because he's.
Oh no.
Yeah, and
we got some Kevin Spacey action going on.
Yeah, like and then he also some assault, like he's done. Like that. This is the final movie. They even talked about finding a way to shelf it, but they just poured too much in it, and they couldn't afford to shelf this one after they're basically going to shelf Wonder Woman, and they already shelved Batgirl. Batgirl. So they couldn't shelf all of them. They put too much into it.
Wow.
So yeah, we're gonna get this movie, and I hope it's great, because if you follow the comics, when Flash is the ultimate reboot.
True.
What the multiverse is gonna do for Marvel, where they can now switch people out and mix things up and explain away some people dying and doing all that. That's what Flash does for DC. He's the reset button because he can change the timeline every time.
Right.
And one of the biggest stories in Flash is Flashpoint, where he went back in time to try to save his mom's, and a whole bunch of things happened because of him doing that. But you took your reset button, your number one way that you could move forward and really change things, and you casted a criminal, and now you can't use him anymore after this movie.
Yeah.
Y'all interested in Blue Beetle? Y'all interested in Aquaman?
Oh, Aquaman. I love how Momoa plays the character. I love Momoa, how he plays the character. I think he's great. They had an Amber Heard issue. I'm pretty sure she's gonna be done, so they're gonna have to recast Mara. And Blue Beetle. Oh, I'm so excited for Blue Beetle just because that's a great character. He's one of the main characters. Like when we were watching the cartoons as kids, that's when his like rise really came. Like that Blue Beetle, because the older generation had a different Blue Beetle. They had Ted Kord, but Jaime Reyes is the one that we had, and that's a great character. A lot of people love him, and that also puts, in terms of checking the boxes, that also puts a young Latin American actor on the screen, on a big screen for a big movie, which we would love to see.
Release date of August of next year.
Blue Beetle, right?
Yep.
Okay. But here's the thing. I don't know what list you're reading, though. I do not like. I'm not questioning you. I'm saying so much has been happening, like literally recently, because James Gunn just signed up, and they've been scrapping projects ever since. I don't know how much of this is going to come out. This is the scary and sad part about being a DC fan in the movies, is you don't know. All of this was planned, and now I don't know what if it's going to happen. What else they got on the list?
Aquaman.
They got Aquaman, Joker. Got a Joker coming out late 2024.
Aquaman Christmas next year.
Yeah.
Is Joker? So Joker, is that another Joaquin Phoenix Joker?
Yep.
Man, we didn't need the first one. I don't need the second one. It was good. A lot of people liked it, but I don't think people understand how much Joker is tied to Batman. That their two existences rely on each other.
Yes.
There's even plenty of lines throughout the comics and in the movie that Christopher Nolan did, where he basically says, like, there is no you without me, and there is no me without you. I exist basically because of you. And then we get a whole movie of him, kind of like his rise without a Batman in sight.
Now they do have the reboot. Well, it's already rebooted, but the Batman 2 starring Robert Pattinson.
I hope they maintain that arc and work from there. I would like them to work from there, even though I don't think that was a better Batman movie than the Nolan series. I thought it was. I liked the way they did it. There was a couple of things that they did that I really did like. Lee will make a good Lee who?
Coach Lee will make a good Joker.
I do have a dark side.
But do you have a psychotic side? That's the question.
That's incriminating. I would not state that.
What's going on with you, Jamie?
How we doing, Jamie? Thanks for joining. Appreciate you. My man Nathan here, holding it down.
Yeah, I get what y'all say with the Marvel, man. Marvel, from their 2023 list, man, projected movies coming out, 5. 5.
Yeah, what's coming is off the hook.
What's coming from Marvel is heat rock right now, because right now is probably the lowest point of Marvel. It's probably from when they started this, from Iron Man 1 to now. This little section, this last 5 to 7 years, has been a little bit of a low.
Yo, I agree with you, Jesse. I agree with you. You bring Danny DeVito for one more Penguin movie, I'm in there. Swim with.
Yeah.
And I don't remember the last one, but
that's my man. That's my man, Jess. We are both big. We're big Always Sunny fans, and Danny DeVito does great work.
Always Sunny. That's my joy there, man.
He does great work.
Wild card, baby.
So, anyways, I just started blasting. That's my guy.
That's a bad. That might be a future show right there.
I'd love to see him as a Penguin. I'd love to see him as a Penguin again. They can keep Arnold Schwarzenegger as Freeze, though. All set on that. We don't need that. It's the next phase of of what happens with Marvel is gonna be crazy. Joe Burrow will make a good Batman. If he could act, he got the look. I ain't gonna lie, he got the look for it. He could do it.
Macaulay Culkin.
He could do it. But yeah, man, I don't know where they're gonna go. But in terms of where the battle is right now between the two, it isn't one. It's like the Lakers and the Clippers. It's not like all time.
So let me ask you this: up until this point,
yeah,
what would you say it has been the best? If you had to pick one movie from each side,
yeah,
what would the top movies be for each side?
For me, and this is very subjective. I know it's a lot of people. It's going to be controversial. Not too controversial, but for some people. For me, on the DC side, Dark Knight.
My God, me too.
Dark Knight. Heath Ledger put on a clinic.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
It might have killed him, but he put on a clinic of acting. And I thought Bale was a great Batman. Little known fact: the one thing that Batman gets a lot of heat for is that voice that he did.
That voice.
You know what happened though? That wasn't Bale's choice. They put that in after. They edited his voice.
Really?
Nolan made that choice, which is weird. Because Nolan did everything else right until that.
Did he? Was that an attempt to just make it
darker?
Yeah.
Tonally, he wanted Batman a little darker
to fit the cinema,
to fit what they were doing. But honestly, it wasn't Bale's choice. Bale didn't decide to do that. And to further prove that Nolan had a big hand in how like guys did certain things, I also didn't see people love Dark Knight Rises. They love Bane. Now he crushed Bane in terms of like the physicality and how the writing of Bane's lines were amazing, but Bane's voice was a fail. Bane's from Santa Prisca. I'm nerding out right now, but Bane, he should have like a Mexican voice or a Latino voice. Like he had a full-on like almost British. Like he sounded like what's his name? Who's the older Bond? Sean Connery. He sounded like Sean Connery.
Yeah, he did sound like Sean Connery.
Bolt the door if you're coming in. Yeah, so but yeah, I would say Dark Knight for sure was the best DC movie for me. And then I would say Marvel. I mean, you can't go wrong with Infinity Wars, but
my God, same here.
Yeah. But I would say it's basically tied for me. I gotta go with 3 movies for my favorite of Marvel.
Okay,
it's Infinity Wars, obviously that's the obvious, but also Civil War was crazy. I thought Civil War was one of the best movies I had seen in the whole thing, just because that split everybody for a minute.
Yeah,
and that created a lot of chaos. And then you had Bucky and Winter Soldier was great, but also Ragnarok. Ragnarok, I cried laughing that entire movie the first time I saw it. One of my favorites to this day. If I ever see Ragnarok on or I come across it on, I don't even like looking
down to watch it.
I don't even like looking through the movies and Disney Plus app, because if I see it, I'm gonna hit it and I'm gonna watch it. It was just too funny, man. He was hilarious.
Okay, so
that being said, Love and Thunder, not as funny, not as good.
Steve Harvey would not make a good Marvel or DC character. Chris, we have you. We gave you your answer. Civil War, I agree.
You already know.
So, what about the possibility of a Marvel versus DC crossover? Because James Gunn, he did Guardians of the Galaxy, and the Suicide Squad.
Well,
and now he's doing his thing now.
One thing I'll say, if he's going to be the guy that has to bridge the gap, we're in trouble, because I think he left Marvel not on the best terms.
Gotcha.
But maybe they could pass that up. He did work with them. And 2, I would say, look, DC got to get their shit together first before we could ever do that. Because I don't like one of the main mistakes DC made, even in the last what they were doing. I know they're going to scrap and do some new stuff. They jumped immediately into the whole team up movie. Like they went straight to Justice League. Like they did some Superman stuff, and then they went right into the Justice League movie. Snyder Cut was a lot better. Took forever, but it was a lot better. But that's what Marvel did better. They built individual characters up
and built up to the climax,
and then brought them in for Avengers 1.
Yep.
Like that's the way you got to do it. That's the formula that's gonna work.
They got you warmed up to to the actors playing the character because you got introduced to the backstory for the younger generation that may not be familiar with it. Refresher for the older generation to an extent, but it got you familiar with this actor plays this role. So when you see them, I see them as that character,
right?
And then you bring them in. You know, you got the Civil War.
Yeah,
and
you had history and chemistry with
it's great. It's great, man.
Justice League threw a bunch of people in, like they relied too heavily on fans, their fan base being like, yeah, I can't wait to see these guys, but like we got
total disappointment.
We got Cyborg on the screen. We were like, why do we care about him? Because of, like, why do we?
It's like he just showed up.
Yeah, like, why do we care? I don't understand. Like, don't get me wrong. Me as a fan for years, I knew why to care, but I knew that the general population did not have a reason to care about him and the way that whole thing played out. Like,
right,
Chris, right, bro.
And that's weird that you. Well, it's not weird that you say that, but it's on the next phase to be slated. It's Cyber. It's like that's ass backwards.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, look, if they're gonna go forward and they're gonna start building individual characters to bring together, then I can do it. We can't get rid of Snyder. I mean, they're basically whitewashing whatever happened. Snyder Cut, that's not gonna matter. Even with the Snyder Cut, they said that Snyder Cut is not canon, and Snyder Cut was done better. Snyder Cut actually set the seeds for Granny Good, set the seeds for Darkseid. Like they planted all those.
It gave them some more credibility.
Yeah, and
which they needed drastically.
Badly.
That's why they released it. They knew it.
But then as a group said it's not canon, so it doesn't count for what we're doing.
Yeah.
So, which again, if you don't follow all of this stuff regularly, if you're just a casual fan, that's gonna confuse you.
Yeah, it definitely.
You're like, all right, well, what happened? Everyone made a big deal out of Snyder Cut, and now none of that actually matters in the world moving forward that we're doing. So I don't know, man. Like I said, I would love the crossover. I think it would be great to do that. But they're so far away from that being. If they did it anywhere near in the next 10 to 15 years, it's too early. We're looking at 20 years before they should even sniff that.
Yeah. And it's so far behind.
Yeah.
So favorite characters all time.
Oof. He's asking the heavy hitters now, huh?
Give me your top two from each side.
Top two from each side. The Flash.
Okay.
And Damian Wayne. I love his son. Batman's son's he's an asshole. He's just a monster. He's just I love that character, especially in like some of the newer animation. Mm-hmm. Now, have we talked animation? DC animation's crazy.
It is.
Their animation movies and shows are unbelievable. But yeah, I'd probably say The Flash and Damian Wayne. Batman's obvious. I love Batman, but I'd say The Flash and Damian Wayne, and villain-wise, I love the Joker. From Marvel, my God. I love Spidey, obviously, but man, what they did with Iron Man is crazy. But growing up, it was Wolverine, hands down.
Okay. Yeah, man, Wolverine and Hope.
Wolverine and Hope. Anger. Yep.
So that's your two Marvel too?
Yeah, that's my two Marvel, man.
Okay.
How about you?
And your DC?
DC, man. I'm gonna be real, man. I'm Batman. Throw it up. Be real, man. You mentioned Danny DeVito, man. I love Batman Returns, man. I love Penguin, man. I love Penguin, man.
Penguin was crazy with it.
Penguin was that movie in itself, man. Catwoman and Penguin together made that, because I don't know where that would have went if either of the two was not in there. Kind of made different, man. That Batman was, for me, Keaton, you know what I'm saying? But the guy, the Catwoman and Penguin made that movie.
Absolutely.
Okay.
What about you, Coach?
I will probably say for me, as far as DC, the Joker for sure.
Yeah, Joker. I love the Joker too, honestly. But I would never pick just the Joker without Batman. I need them both. It's a duality.
Yeah, and that's right, and that's the conundrum that I'm having because they do category, but
why you have that? Right quick, Nate. Donald Glover is about to be in a Marvel movie, but he's playing like a fourth-rate villain in Marvel. But the thing is, he wanted this role because the character is heavily influenced by music, and he wants to be able to do his musical thing too, because he's in rap and music and stuff like that, and singing. And so he's playing. What's the name of the character? Continue. I'll find the name of the character right quick. But continue with your.
Black I'll Flash. Probably say I probably would have to go with Batman.
Yeah,
to be in there. I don't know. It's because I grew up in an era, pretty much the iconic roles of Batman, Superman. But I guess if I had to do it, it'd be that.
Right.
Is he gonna be Hypno Hustler?
Yeah, that's who it is. He's about to be Hypno Hustler.
And Spider-Man.
Yep, which nobody really knows.
Speaking of Spider-Man, on the low,
he's not even third tier. He's like fourth tier.
Character, Venom.
Venom's a great character.
Yeah.
Man, no Spider-Man kind of killed me in terms of the series, man, when they didn't go with they went with Dr. Octopus a bit, saying from that. But to not go into Venom was just terrible for me.
Well, they set it up though. They set it up moving forward with Venom. Because Venom, mine, go ahead, my fault. I'll get back into that.
I'm gonna say in my Marvel, it would have to be Wolverine and Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet's crazy with it. Like
they did
character. they did some justice with her. I feel like in the last movie, the Multiverse of Madness, they kind of like
they finally I think they finally got in there to the underbelly of her character.
They hit the peak, but then they kind of nerfed. They could have went further, but like I get it. I get what they were doing.
Because it was so drastic between her in that role and then WandaVision.
Yeah. Oh, both great though. I love how both went down. In terms of the Venom situation, they got licensing issues with Spider-Man and Spider-Man's villains and his peoples because that's Sony, right? So they got to rent all those. But they seem like they're gonna slide Venom into the Marvel universe now. They got a lot of those rights now. So yeah, that should be interesting to see how that goes. Here's definitely a hot take. I never liked Tobey as Spider-Man, and everyone loves Tobey. I never was a Tobey Maguire guy. I was actually an Andrew Garfield guy, and everyone hates that one. Those movies weren't written as well, but I feel like he did a great job playing them. I liked him acting in those roles.
So I feel like a lot of people.
So did you like Spider-Verse?
I think a lot of people like Tobey because if you watch the cartoons of Spider-Man, I feel like Tobey's voice was kind of more for the intake. Now, character-wise, I agree with you.
Also, everyone grew up on Tobey. Like, if you're our age, that's
Tobey.
Like those are the earliest movies. Like those are the earliest like blockbuster hero movies, and we got Tobey, and that's our Spider-Man.
Match with Macho Man.
Like literally, everyone goes, "That's my Spider-Man." Like they do the TO, like my quarterback. They're like, "That's my Spider-Man" with Tobey. So
how you feel about Tom Holland and the Amazing Spider-Man?
Oh, he's great. The Tom Holland's crushing it. Tom Holland's probably the best combination of how he plays Peter and how he plays Spider-Man. Because that's the thing. Like I felt like Tobey was. A lot of people felt like he was a good depiction of Peter, but as Spider-Man, he was a little dry for me. And Andrew Garfield, people love how he played Spider-Man, but as Peter Parker, he was a little too confident, a little too cheery, a little too charming for how Peter Parker's supposed to be. But Tom Holland does both pretty well. He's not corny like Tobey, but he's like, he's a little like not confident, he's a little shy as Peter Parker. Right. But when he puts that suit on, that's where his confidence comes from, and that's when he gets busy. Like, and he does a great job. I like what they're doing with him. Plus, he's the right age, and it worked out perfectly. I love seeing them all together though. When they were all together in that movie, that was awesome. That was fun to watch.
I geeked out, man.
Yeah, it was it wasn't heavily written. It was a lot of fan service, but
right.
I was there for all of it. I mean, so
it was a geek out moment to me. Not quite to the level of Obi-Wan fighting Vader.
Yeah,
in the Obi-Wan series, that I like. The whole house when that went on.
Can I say I both loved and hated that moment, and you're gonna love my reason why I didn't like it. I loved it because we finally got to like that's a moment we needed to see. We wanted to see if he ever had crossed his paths again after what happened at the end. We wanted to see that. Why I didn't like it is because the exact scene that they ran, not the location, but how they ran the scene, they stole that moment. That moment, almost like word for word, how they had that conversation, how he cuts half his helmet off and you can see his face. That moment is from Clone Wars, the cartoon. That is Ahsoka's moment. That is Ahsoka's moment with her master. Like that's her master.
Yeah.
She had that. That's when she learned that holy shit, this is Anakin. That is my master.
Yeah, because she always tried to dispel it when all the rumors.
She didn't believe it.
Run,
and then she finally met up with Vader. They fought in the reactor area, and she cut him. And she saw, and she was like, "Holy shit!" And that
I didn't even think about that.
So that was her moment, and they stole it and gave it to Obi-Wan, which makes me mad because Ahsoka's getting her show.
Yeah,
but I digress. It was still a great moment. And I can't tell him nothing because it's Filoni. Oh no, is it Fat? Yeah, it's Filoni. I think that's who runs it. I think Dave Filoni runs it. Yeah, Dave Filoni, and he's the creator of the Ahsoka character. He's the creator of the Clone Wars series. So
he's running Disney.
Right. So the fact that he signed up for them making that change, I ain't gonna argue with that, man. It's his baby, it's his puppet to play with, his toys. So but yeah, I was mad that they stole that from Ahsoka. but yeah, man, that wait, what brought us to that moment though? The who versus who saw who? Oh wait, how do we get? Yeah, I don't even know how we got there, man. That's how crazy this gets, man. This nerd life is crazy. You can't get me. I told you this had to go last because you were gonna get me started. I wouldn't have won and did my 2 stories after this. Not at all. I'd have been like, all right, show's over. Wrap it up.
Yeah. I'll probably say I was kind of late to the party. As a kid, I had ADD.
Yeah.
I was familiar with the comic book characters, the Star Wars and stuff like that, but I didn't understand the concept of the stories.
Yeah.
It was all visual for me.
Yeah.
But then going back and watching stuff as an adult, it blows my mind. And especially, this is why I also give the nod, the edge to Marvel in that aspect is they, as we spoke earlier, they've done a better job of building up the. First of all, they did a better job of reintroducing the characters to the newer generations, and then building up from the ground up from there. And they've got it to the point to where they've got longevity on their side. They in the whole multiverse just unlocked everything for them. They can now. It can be one of those things. If they got a contract dispute with the actor,
bye.
Well. Get him out of there. Oh, he's from another
universe. We got the other one now. Yep.
So
bring him back.
Smart on their part. Marketing genius.
They've also left the door open for the biggest money print ever if they ever want to bring Tony back.
Yeah.
And overall, man, Marvel pitting out that fire, pitting out those movies, man. Like we think about in this generation, like what you want to see, what shouldn't be out, what should be canceled, this and that. And it seems like the team, and again, they're just pitting out kind of, everything in the arsenal just about.
Two comments I want to comment on. One was Nate Bennett talked about Margot Robbie needs to stay as Harley Quinn. I would agree with that. I don't know if it's going to happen because they're scrapping everything. I would love to see her stay as Harley Quinn. Speaking of Harley Quinn, if anybody got HBO Max, I may have said this before on the podcast, go watch that cartoon. The Harley Quinn cartoon on HBO Max is fire. It's a comedic twist I don't even know if they consider it a canon, but like it's a comedic twist on some of the characters you love, man. Like Batman is not a main character in it, but it's hilarious what they do with him. They clown Jeff Gordon constantly. They curse up a storm, and so it's and the jokes are on point, well written. It's worth watching. And actually, the chick from Big Bang Theory, Kaylee Cuoco, she's the voice of Harley Quinn in that show. And you've never heard her speak like this because you're too busy watching her be a good girl on Big Bang Theory. But she's wild as Harley Quinn. And another comment that I want to talk about was, this is a good question for all of us. If we was in a DC or Marvel movie, I'll switch it up a little bit. DC or Marvel movie, what character would you want to play?
I'll be Two-Face. Straight up.
He didn't even hesitate with that.
He was right there. He was ready.
I think I seen that earlier. I'm like thinking about something like, Turn, like another one I felt like could crispin himself, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That
Harvey Dent.
It felt
Harvey Dent, the original like real moral code turn bad guy. Just flips that coin and make decisions.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
What about you, Coach?
Interesting that you choose a villain. For me, my family can probably attest to this just because I can flip flop really quick. It has to be the Joker.
I love it. It's a tough road to follow up. You're gonna have to really put on a show after what he did with it. For me, I'd be a DC character. I would go with and this is strictly because of the locks, man. My man Lobo. I don't know if you know about Lobo, but Lobo is a hilarious character. He's not from this planet. Actually, he's a joke character. I don't know if they made him first, but I'm pretty sure DC made him to make fun of Wolverine and how serious Wolverine always is and how Wolverine can't die, like he always heals. Lobo can't die either. In fact, in his comic, he has tried to die. They have chopped him up into pieces, blended all the pieces, and shipped the pieces to different parts of the universe, and he still coalesced and came back. He can't die. He also murdered
and immortality.
He also murdered everybody on his home planet, but there's different reasons for why they've switched it up over the years. Some say that they all got at first they said he went crazy and killed everybody, but then when they rebooted him, they said that they all got brainwashed by a parasite and he had to off them himself. He had to take care of them because they were gonna go nuts to take over the universe. But Lobo is crazy. He got the Kiss face paint. A couple of iterations of him have dreads. And he's just a maniac, man.
Okay.
Yeah, but plus it's a character that not a lot of people really know about unless you're really into it. But yeah, man. Wow, we nerded out, man. We
did.
You know what I'm saying? Back into my heyday, you know what I'm saying? And getting back into, when how much importance this is when these movies do come out.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of things you can make, and you're like, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not more with the trendy, you know what I'm saying? Like, people say, Black Panther, shout out to Black Panther and all that, but you know what I'm saying? Movies, the superhero-based, like, Superman's, Batman's, you throw X-Men, Fantastic Four, type of settings, Flash, Iron Man, those are the ones, man.
Yeah, man. Look, Coach, I tell you, either of you, anytime you want to stretch a topic out for the day, you bring up some of this nerd stuff, I go. I will go.
Yeah,
it's a battery in my back.
I'm looking forward in the future. I definitely want to talk with you on air about Star Wars and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, we gotta chop it up.
For me, I'll probably say, and I'll end with this, just plant the seed. Obviously I grew up during the origination of Star Wars as a kid, but then I didn't circle back around to it again as far as like really getting involved and invested into it until 2020. When I had, just like everybody else, had to sit down, spend a lot of time at home.
Absolutely.
And I just popped it in, and I started looking at Clone Wars because I remember my son watching it all the time growing up, and I'm like,
it's a great cartoon, man.
I'm thinking, and I didn't realize it at the time until I sat down in 2020 and started watching it. and they just replanted the seed that forced me to go back to watch it, from episode 1 and on.
Yep, one
and
forward.
just really get invested into it. So I'm like, now, I'm at work and I'm like, hey, because I think if I'm not mistaken, Bad Batch is it out or it's about ready to come out?
The next season's about to come out. Yeah, I can't wait because Bad Batch is they're doing some crazy things with Bad Batch. And when they announced that, I went nuts because I'm like, yo, that was one of the best parts of the Clone Wars series was having whenever the Bad Batch episodes would be on, and when you see that crew and to give them their own show, I was like, oh, that's gonna work. It's gonna work. And I can't wait for that. Jesse, good point, Jesse. Look, I love Mahershala Ali. I did hear that there was some issues on set with some people, but and some issue with writers, so they got pushed back a little bit. I have high hopes because if there was one guy who could replace the original Spawn, I think Mahershala is the great actor to do it. But I'm just worried about the writing. And yes, I agree with you. I hope that reboot works out because that's another one that they're gonna eventually slide in to the Marvel universe. But yeah, man. Clone Wars is my jam. I don't know, you know what's crazy about that show too?
What's that?
Did you ever pull up the list for how to watch it? Because the episodes are out of order.
Yes.
Yeah, the episodes are out of order.
Yeah.
You got to jump around to make it make sense, like chronologically. But yeah, man, I'm hyped for the Ahsoka show coming up. Also,
did you see the Tales of the Jedi?
Yes, they set up a lot of stuff on that. They gave some backstory. Man, yo, I never thought
when they found out who she was, blown away.
Yeah, I never thought ever that I would ever give a flying roll of the donut at about Dooku, but they made him
Yoda. Call me Yoda.
Do you get down?
Do you like blood? You got to speak in riddles. But yo, but Dooku, they really changed how I felt about him because of how you saw his backstory and how he went to the dark side because of all the BS, man.
Got tired of dealing with the red tape.
Yeah, exactly.
The bureaucracy.
Absolutely. Also, that last episode involving Ahsoka, they showed you now, because you know what Ahsoka's point really is now. The point, the thing that Filoni wanted to do with Ahsoka was he was tired of all of everybody's favorite characters in Star Wars being either Skywalker or related to Skywalker. But like those are the two strongest we know. So like Anakin is one of the strongest we know. Yeah. And then Luke becomes stronger than almost anyone that we know. All the other like really strong Jedi or Sith are bad guys. They're all Sith, and we didn't see them a lot. But he created Ahsoka to give the younger generation their new, and then we showed there were some scenes in Clone Wars that she was doing stuff that was like, yo, Anakin and none of them was doing stuff that powerful. Yeah. Now they explained why, because Anakin trained her. Anakin trained her, like really trained. He put her through the ringer, had her getting zapped over and over and over. Yeah. He made her different. So
she thinks she had it figured out, he'll throw another element into it.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry, y'all. We nerd not on here.
Hey, look,
we got shout outs tonight.
That's what we came to do, man. It's the chop up. Nerd curse.
Who got the first shout out tonight?
Shout out to my peoples, man. Like everybody who showed up. Nate, I appreciate you, brother. Jesse, I appreciate you showing up. Probably gonna end up playing some Call of Duty with Jesse later. Yeah, man. I appreciate all our viewers, man. All our people who comment. If we didn't get to your question, mostly we was getting too nerded out to respond. We were talking recently. We're gonna try to do better. That's what makes the show great is when you guys talk to us. But for that to work, we got to respond to it. So we're gonna get. Look, we're moving into a new year. We got a lot of new things going on, new chemistry going on. We're trying new things. We're gonna get back to one of the things that made us great from the beginning, and that's interaction with you guys. So we're gonna get back to that. So shout out to y'all for still coming through and being patient. And we're gonna get to more of your questions and comments moving forward with the shows.
we ain't interacting with y'all guys, man. No, sir, man. We gonna continue to interact. Great interaction tonight. Great comments. Shout out to everybody that tuned in. Shout out to everybody that tuned in on any stream that we're on right now. You know, tap it in, see some YouTube comments, see some Facebook comments.
Absolutely.
You know, Twitch comments in there. Let's start getting the Twitch comments in there, you know.
Yeah, let's get all platforms.
Overall, man, keep riding out, man. We headed down to the final week just about of the year, you know. So if you ain't done anything to this point, you know, you still got time, man. You ain't over yet. And keep grinding. And hope you guys have a good rest of your night.
Yes. Appreciate y'all. Shout out to everybody that hung out here with us tonight. Marie, Chris, Nate, Jamie, Jesse. If I forgot anybody, I do strongly apologize. Shout out to you fellas, man. Had fun. Great topics tonight. Great subjects. Got input. Everybody was involved. Appreciate that. Yeah, man. Shout out to a man too. We going at it this week.
Yeah. I believe you squeaked by me, like a month and a half ago. You squeaked by me by a few points. I was talking smack before the game started. I thought it happened comfortably, it didn't happen that way. But it's a good matchup to go into. You know, someone that you see daily. You know, it's no hard feelings, win or loss. You know what I'm saying? We go down. But in STWF League, it's good that I'm playing you and not Unc, man. Because if I was playing Unc, my eyes would be real different right now. You know what I'm saying? I'll be looking to hunt and kill. You know, but we going into a matchup where there's a lot of undefeated guys in the race. You know, I wish it was a championship. I wish it was a championship, man.
Two things about that. One, just to report back. My man Baker did not score enough points for me to advance in the playoffs. He did not get it done for me. And two, to all the STWF fans, y'all should have seen Coach sweating backstage last night. Sweating backstage, hoping that Watson wouldn't score and eliminate the playoffs. But luckily, he got it through, man.
Won by the hair of my chin, man.
That was fun to watch, man.
Always.
Because as fantasy, we all know we all go through it, but to see one of your peoples go through it, like, damn, like, it's tough, man. You know how it goes.
I'm going to give a shout out to Jake, man. I'm going to give a shout out to Jake in this regards. I've been throwing the league for the last 11 years. You know, it's kind of a gauntlet league, as I call it. Top 8 teams make it. People are like, why should this team making this and that? This is the majority of the league, man. I've done it. It's probably one of the first grown-up things that I've done. You know what I'm saying? It's that goes on for years, and that's a good thing. Jake, took the AC from me due to a win that he got early in the season against me. He goes up against the number 1 seed, and he gets that W. Jake gets that W, gets the 1 seed. Shout out to Jake, talk that crap. Valentine, you black. And Valentine watching, man, he was the number 1 seed, and he's been a bad team for years. Finally got his time to shine as the 1 seed, and then 1 week is over, man. So shout out to anybody who's an underdog, and you can make it in fantasy.
Shout out to Unc.
Shout out to Unc. Going on, Unc.
That's my last shout out to Unc. Well, yeah, yeah.
What size fitted hat you wearing, man? So I can get you one. I ain't gonna tell.
Hey, yo, Unc. Actually, we I don't know if you saw, but we had a question from the last show. Unc, you were screaming out 14-3. You've already owned it. You know what it is. It ain't happening. I guess the real question now, though, is how long until your team actually wins 14 games? How much longer is it gonna take? You think next season? You think you'll, even counting the wins you got now, you think you'll get to 14 next season?
Damn!
Shout out to my guy.
You got a better chance to give me Little J's donuts than that happened. Little J donuts as well. Every day, all morning, man. Shout out to Mr. D.
When the iPhone 20s come out. Oh man, it's bad. When it's bad, it's bad. Roll over wins. You're gonna need every one of them.
Old school AT&T over minutes and shit.
Man, that's how
Boy, y'all bad as hell.
That's
man.
how y'all end the show, man. Shout out to shout out to the team, man. We here.
Appreciate y'all. We see y'all tomorrow night. Hey, take care.
Peace out.